So let's welcome on board our chartists and figure out what they're making of the trading temperament right now. Kunal, Nooresh, hi, afternoon. Kunal, each time we think that the market would consolidate or should consolidate, it, proves us wrong and it shows a spurt. You think we will once again make a dash to that all-time peak of 19,005K?
Good afternoon, Aisha. So I think we are still consolidating. We have not broken past about the 19,500 mark, and we have not broken below the 19,200 to 50 level, which is a strong support for the Nifty. But on the other hand, I think the second or the other sector index, which is Bank Nifty, that is the point of concern for the markets right now, because over the last 6 trading sessions, the Bank Nifty on the hourly chart has been making a pattern of lower highs and lower lows. And that is not a good sign for the bank index as such, because when you are into a consolidation, you would probably expect that the bank also, or such other indices, they would go through more of a time-wise correction rather than any formation of a lower highs, lower lows. So that's the only concern for the markets right now. I would still believe that till the time the bank Nifty underperforms, we could get into this drag or a consolidation for the indices, and the Nifty could remain or continue to remain in a range. I believe unless we break past about the 45,000 mark, 45,200 on the Bank Nifty and close about those levels, the Nifty would also consolidate. From the short-term perspective, I think the trade or the bias for both of the indices is on the no trade side. I would still believe that it's better to wait out for a breakout, because you don't know how much time the indices will consolidate. So from a short-term play, I would wait out for the indices to break past about their respective resistances, only then initiate a buy.
Nooresh, where would leadership come in from? Because, that's seeing faster rotation than the overall market trend itself. I mean, yesterday it was Reliance in metals, and today you're struggling to pinpoint any one particular trend. It's a bunch of telecom, cap goods, realty, and I even spot some of the auto and pharma healthcare names in there.
So the leadership is clear in terms of auto being a leader. That's a sector which is doing well. And we are seeing new names come up, which is where Maruti is coming up in the list. You have a Hero MotoCorp, which is doing well. And you have Ashok Leyland coming up in the list. The only problem is the sector does not have a very high weight on the index. The high weights continue to be financials, which is where, again, we are not seeing any momentum coming in HDFC Bank, or even a Kotak Mahindra Bank. ICICI Bank continues to be around that 940, 950 mark, not able to cross 960. But going forward, ICICI Bank, if it breaks 960, that could be a leader. Reliance Industries has shown a leadership structure by making that move about 2700, 2750 mark. So Reliance could be one, which is where the weights are also high, at 10% plus weight on the index. So Reliance is one which could drive the index going forward. And we could continue to see this rotational moves wherein we've seen autos do well. If the numbers come out for IT well, they could see some bit of a bounce back selectively. So for now, we are not seeing a move. A leadership move is when we could be looking at 1,000 pointer on the Nifty, 500 pointer on a structural basis. We are not in that move as of now. So we are in this consolidation phase, 19,200 to 19,600. So this is where you continue to play sectoral rotations, stock rotations.
Reliance as well today, as you pointed out, that stock is the top gainer as far as the contributor is concerned for the Nifty. You also have Infosys, which is actually doing quite well. The rest of the IT pack, not as much, but Infosys alone is quite excited ahead of HCL Tech's and TCS's earnings. So that stock is higher by 1.5%, followed by ITC. And look at Sun Pharma as well. That's been fairly quiet of late. Today it's perking up as much as 3%. So definitely some excitement build up, and we already flagged out Eicher Motors and Maruti, which are doing quite well from the auto pack. What's not doing well is clearly Bank Nifty. Let's pull up the intraday chart and see the candlestick at that. If there are some red bars that emerge there, because in the last few minutes there has been a sudden drop. It's obviously Axis Bank, ICICI Bank, SBI, these are your top losers. Kunal, as far as the Bank Nifty is concerned, which do you think is the weakest link? Because we actually were preparing ourselves for quite a bit of excitement over the next couple of days as HDFC, merger impact really comes through. But for now, the index and its constituents are fairly quiet.
Well, yeah, Anisha, and I think you rightly pointed out, because the large cap names like ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, HDFC Bank. Now, if you look at the price performance for all three of the names put together in the last, maybe 1 week or 10 days, they've been absolutely sideways. ICICI Bank, I think, has been just fluctuating at this 950 mark, plus or minus 20 odd rupees. Axis Bank had a touch and go moment towards that 995 mark, came very close towards the 1,000 levels, but then it slipped some 30-40 points from those levels and now back towards the 960, 970 mark. Even HDFC Bank has been in a stock which has seen a lot of selling at the 1700, 1750 levels. So the concern for the bank Nifty is these private sector names which is underperforming. Even the likes of Kotak Bank, for example, has been struggling, and I think the struggle for Kotak Bank has gone back into the last 2 to 3 years, if not more. So the large cap names not participating is definitely not a good sign for the bank index overall. But I believe that eventually these stocks, once they end their phase of consolidation, they could start to participate on the upside. As of now, these stocks are consolidating. But on the other hand, the bright spot for the banking names is actually the PSU banking lot. You look at the price performance for the mid-cap end of the PSU banking names, Bank of Baroda, Canara Bank, look at the charts for PNB, Union Bank, etc. These stocks have done exceptionally well in the last 1 week, 7, 8 days. So I believe that it's always better to go with momentum as well as the play where the sector performance and the price performance is much more stronger. Within the banking pack, as of now, it's the PSU banking lot.
Just wanted to talk about a few other buzzers. Bharat Dynamics up 14%, Cochin Shipyard, Mazgaon Dog, Golden Reach. Aisha was just talking about the Phillip Capital note, which says that there is more upside, quite a bit of opportunity. Nooresh, do you concur with the view? Technically, chart-wise, would you still be a buyer in these names or would you wait for a correction?
So one could start off with some allocation and be ready to add on the lows because the stocks are up 10%. So out here, we've seen Mazgaon Dock has gone beyond the risk-reward range, but Cochin Shipyard is still away from the previous all-time highs of 680. You have Garden Reach Shipyard trying to make that breakout move into new all-time highs. So these two names look interesting in the basket. So out here, one could look at GRSE as well as Cochin Shipyard. The rest of the names have already moved up quite a bit. So still the trend is strong, and when the trends are strong in a sectoral way, it continues to surprise on the upside. So out here, that's what is happening.